Laura!
Marisa!
What time is it?
It's Divine Mother Earth time!
Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Divine Mother Earth Time. I am your co-host, Marisa Acachella.
And I'm your other co-host, Laura Eisenhower. Welcome, everybody, to Divine Mother Earth Time. We have such a Divine Mother with us today, my dear friend Stellar Fairbairn. And oh my goodness, it's so great to have you. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, it's so lovely to be here and to meet you, Marissa, too. I haven't met you before. And Laura, we haven't spoken for ages, but I've been following your journey, beloved. And just thank you for being on the planet and being here and sharing your beautiful heart with everyone. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I've been following you for a long time. We've stayed in touch, but it's been so long since we've actually done an interview. And I cannot wait to hear what comes through this session today. So I'm going to start with your bio. A few paragraphs down, you have such an intense and profound bio. So I'm going to read part of it and then hand it over to you to talk about your life, your journey, and just your bio in your own words.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to start in the year 2015. This is the year she started to bring groups of priestesses and their beloveds to Magdalene and Cathar country in France. In 2016, she recorded the album The Magdalene Codes, featuring the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. She sang the codes of the land and continues to do so by bringing sacred souls to this land again to be activated into their deepest spiritual and soul sovereignty. Hieros Gamos, Inner Christ, and Christos Union, and true ascension protocols with the codes that Magdalene and Yeshua left in the land for this time. She has just published her latest album called The Magdalene Codes, Volume 2, which brings crystalline sonic healing chambers to everyone who listens. So that link is going to be in the description. She now runs several activating retreats in France each year, as well as her online mystery school and advanced priestess training and facilitator training for the White Flame healing modality. She is a trustee of the White Flame Trust in Glastonbury, which cares for the original Magdalene Cottage at the foot of the Tor. And I remember when that was threatened for a bit. Stellar has recorded over 30 albums in 432 hertz and emanates the frequency of the Divine Mother. Her website, MagdaleneRetreatsFrance.com, will be in the description, but talk to us. I mean, your bio goes into leading groups in southern France, Egypt, Ireland, the books you've published, your Sacred Union, beloved, and do you want to share anything that I didn't in that bio?
Well, where do we start? Right, let's start with France, because France is so amazing, and we just moved here after bringing retreats here for the last 10 years. We decided that as a family we would move back to France, and it feels like coming home here because Magdalene and Yeshua left several codes and ancient temple artifacts and information here in the land, and when you come into a certain vibration, you're able to access those codes and temples in the land. So over the last, say 10 years, we've had many people come to the sacred ancient sites, because the rose line runs right through this part of the world. And the rose line is the big dragon line energy that runs from the Arctic all the way down through France, Africa, into Antarctica. So there's an incredible energy that runs through the land here. And then you have all the ancient sacred sites, the caves, and then on this line, miraculously, you have lots of Magdalene churches, you have standing stones, you have ancient Celtic church sites, you have got all these incredible weavings of the Magdalene frequency that runs right through here. And as we know with the rose line, it's like a Kundalini line, isn't it? Of the earth dragon lines that run through. And so you've got Rennes Chateau Church, which is in that frequency of what they call the Magdalene pentagram here, which is a 5-pointed star with the apex pointing up. And it has all the sacred sites dotted around. Like you've got Mount Bugarash, which looks like a dragon curled up fast asleep when you look at it from Google Earth. Literally, where we live, the mountains look like petrified dragons. So you have this incredible dragon, Kundalini, ancient Celtic church mysteries of the Magdalene here to be brought alive into your lived experience when you come here. And so 10 years ago, I had this idea to do an album called The Magdalene Codex. So I brought my producer, Craig Prowess, out with me, and 22 beautiful priestess people, energies. And we went around all the caves and churches and we sang the codes of the land into the album. So that was really the first kind of thing about the Magdalene codes. That's what it was all about, bringing the codes of the land, singing the temples awake, singing the land awake again, and activating those codes for everyone to remember their ancient holy lineage, which is, you know, to remember their inner divinity. So go ahead, Marisa.
All right, I need to ask, because you're talking about the Magdalene codes. I also want to know about dragons too, but for starters, okay, the Magdalene Code, can you tell us exactly what that is and what you have decoded within the Magdalene Code?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you've got to be in your heart to hear them, right? And to feel the codes. And then you start to embody them. And these are crystalline star codes that are coming from the Holy Universal Mother, which is what the Magdalene frequency represents. And then these codes then start to awaken dormant memories, past lives. You know, we're talking pre-fall technology here. We're talking really, really ancient technology that is starting to awaken. And the way I can describe it for me is being in a certain scenario quite recently where I was taken to a place under armed guard by cosmic brothers and sisters into a very dangerous place on the earth.
And why were you taken by armed guards, and what was dangerous about it?
It was just a very dangerous part of the planet. I'm not going to say where it was right now. But I was able to go in and sing the codes of the Magdalene and the Mother into this specific frequency. And when it opened, this beautiful blue sun appeared, this cold blue plasma. And this blue plasma is now running through the album that we've just released. And it's running out through all the song lines, all the Magdalene song lines, all the song lines across the earth. We've actually had 4 different groups now called the Sonic Christ Codes. And we've had light workers dotted all around the earth. And I've been singing the codes from the land here to them. And then they're embodying this incredible pillar of source light across all the nodal points and sacred sites of the earth. So it's really been
is that blue plasma the Christ consciousness energy? Is that what
that? Yeah, it would be like, you know, our true sun, you know, our true sun from Sirius. Sirius B, you know, the blue sun plasma. It's that frequency and energy. Yeah.
Well, take us into the dragon energy, the dragon lines, the coiled up dragon, petrified dragons you were talking about. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I mean, this whole land is just alive with dragon frequency. And this really represents the ancient Celtic church, which of course had to go underground after they'd built all these beautiful cathedrals and everything built in the honor of Mary Magdalene. And the rose window technology is all about working with sound and frequency in the proper frequency, which is 432 hertz, right? The 432 hertz scale and harmonic series is what awakens the dragon frequency, and it awakens the healing potential of all these sacred sites, and indeed, you know, the beautiful Gothic cathedrals that were built in honor of Mary Magdalene that are all across the Rose Line. So you've got Roslin Chapel up north in Scotland, you know, near Edinburgh. You've got Notre Dame, which is on the Paris Meridian. And then the Paris Meridian is the Rose Line that runs right down through this part of southern France as you head towards the Pyrenees. So when you look around at the mountains, or you even go to Google Earth and you start looking, you know, you can tilt and you can have a look at the different ways. You can see the mountains. They all are holding this dragon frequency, which are the stewards, if you like, of the Kundalini and the compassionate love of the mother.
Let me ask you something. So you're saying that the Notre Dame was erected in honor of Mary Magdalene, not the Blessed Mother?
There's lots of different, there's Vézelay, there's lots of different cathedrals. Okay. And it's anywhere where you find the big rose windows. The Magdalene and the Mother Mary frequency are very, very similar. Both high priestesses of Isis, both holding all the, you know, the multidimensional codes, if you like. So yeah, they're built, but what they did during the Tartarian times with the mud flats, or whatever they call them when they mudded and sludged everything, was they changed the bells during the time of King Henry VIII. And they changed the bells from 432 hertz to 440 hertz, which is all our modern day tuning right now. And that is enough to knock the planet off 23.5% or degrees, right, from its proper axis. So the sound is so important because the sound creates matter and form. And when you're singing the right frequencies, these dragon energies start to come awake. You start to awaken that own, your own dragon frequency within you. And then people are just having the most amazing experiences when they come out here, just to walk on the land and to sing. Like, we all love to sing, and I always say, if you can speak, you can sing, because people are like, oh, I'm tone deaf and I can't sing. And we get everyone toning and, fifths and third harmonies and diminished sevenths. And we just create these incredible sounds that open up the codes and the portals and the stargates. We've actually got the 12th planetary stargate just up the road in Montsegur. And Montsegur is a very sacred site, but a bit like Glastonbury Tor, where all the energy lines come into it. It's this sort of sacred mountain with the Cathars that live there. And the whole castle is actually, the foundations and the shape of it are in the Buddhist constellation. So it's actually a tribute to Arcturus. So there's very much a stellar lineage here. There's very much a star code lineage that's here in the land that can be opened with your open heart and the sound of your voice.
And the connection between the grids and our DNA is so huge. So doing that correction work corrects inversion within us, turns that junk DNA on, right?
Right.
So sorry, Marisa, you were going to say something.
No, I was just saying, it just reminds me of your book, Laura, you're about the frequencies, and that's definitely where you live.
You're right in the heart of the Magdalene country.
I kind of want to fly over right now. Maybe
I was going to say, you guys, why don't you guys bring a retreat here? You bring a group and we will host it for you and take you to all the places. And even we do a Magdalene conference or something here in the new year, or maybe 2027, whatever it is, but you've got to come and experience it. And if you come in the summer months, you can swim in the crystalline grade A drinking water, pools and streams and rivers and hot springs everywhere coming out of the mountains. And it's just incredible. Yeah.
How beautiful. Oh, yes. I mean, what's it been like? I mean, tell us about some of these trips that you take. What do you notice, in people and the shift that we're currently going through on the planet? What sort of changes are you seeing happening between this year into next year?
Well, when they come out here, they come out kind of as a certain frequency, and they go home completely different. They're completely changed because their whole biophysiology has changed. Their perception has changed about who they are. And they're coming more into their authentic self and going around. It's a bit like, when you go to Egypt, if you've ever been to Egypt and you go to the temples there, you get downloads and uploads, you get memory, you get all this stuff that goes on energetically. Well, here's no different. Just maybe 10 miles from where I live, there are 78 pyramids.
And 78 pyramids? Okay.
78 pyramids, in a rift valley with, guess what's growing on them?
What?
Wine. So you can
imagine wine. Laura, when are we flying over? Like,
as soon as we get off this call, her and I will be talking. And
yeah, exactly.
No, it is mind blowing. It really is. It's almost like walking into a multi-dimensional fairyland. The dragons, the elementals, the sacred waters that hold the memory of the Magdalene that flow from the center of the earth and the pristine inner oceans comes up. There's even saltwater rivers coming up that are 78 Fahrenheit, in temperature. And then you put it in a pool, and then you go into the hot springs, and you're just receiving the codes 24/7. So what we normally do is like an 8-day retreat at a lovely hotel that we work with. It's about an hour away from where I live. And they have a Michelin star restaurant. They have their own winery. It's a working winery. So you get to do wine tastings of all this incredible wine that's grown here in Magdalene country. And then we do a thing called soul surgery. So my beloved, myself, and our colleague Jilly will go through every participant's soul And any blocks or any tags or any frequency blocks or any contracts or anything that's holding them back from their soul mission blueprint will just be erased. And then they can really come into that full divine feminine that's arising through all of us. We're in this Magdalene revolution now, aren't we, really? So, and then we eat great food, we go out, we sing, we laugh our heads off. You know, we have so much joy in these trips because the codes are really activated through us being at our highest vibration. So joy is the real remit, and having fun. And then we swim in the thermal waters, the rivers. We go to the womb of the mother in the most spectacular caves with massive crystals everywhere, physically and in the unseen. And we sing and activate the crystals. We work with the song lines, and yeah, everyone goes home very different.
So, okay, this is all very intriguing. There's so much to unpack and everything. I mean, like that you just. So, can we go through like a before and after kind of thing? Like when somebody comes, you know, you say they're activated by their heart, right? But what kind of what's the transition and how are people changed? And what is the message? Are you getting any messages? Like what is the message you're getting from Magdalene herself? Are you getting any messages from her?
Yeah, I have a membership that I do monthly, and we tune into the land here, and the messages come up through me.
Mhm.
And it's vast. I mean, we like the Encyclopedia Universalis to try and explain what that is that's coming
But
through.
what's she saying now, like at this present moment about this time that we're in
Well,
right
the time is to live from the heart,
now?
we're co-creating and creating as creators a heart-led society again. And
Mhm.
we're putting the mother back at the head of the table. You know, then we end the wars, we end the conflicts, we have compassion, and we have grace at the table again, and we have harmony and divine balance. And you know, her main message right now is to live from this place, to live from the heart, because we're so in our head, you know, especially the generation coming up behind us, my daughter, and I know your twin boys, and you know, we try and keep them as natural and holistic as possible, Laura, don't we? But they're growing up in this technicolor, freaking, you know, digital fantasia, right? And it's about coming back and living in the basic frequencies of the earth, grounding, learning to walk as love, learning to leave flowers in our footsteps and not go into conflict or contest with anything around us. So it's a very powerful message from here to here, you know, the longest journey, and to practice daily living in the heart. You know, that's really at the root of everything I do. Every time we go to sacred sites here, or we go to the churches or whatever, we get everyone into their heart first so that they are beaming that frequency of love and
Gosh,
holding them.
so beautiful. I mean, where do you feel the shift is on the planet? Because I mean, there's such a ramping up of this AI, and just like you said, this, I don't know, possible transhumanism. You know, this the three eye atlas. I see more discord and more triggers in people than ever before. And what I love about what you're sharing is it lifts people beyond that duality and into that heart coherence, which is everything. And not everybody's on board with that. Eventually they might, but what are your thoughts about this three eye atlas and how much all of this is revving up the techno AI, all that?
Okay, well, I kind of see the three eye atlas thing and the AI as two different things. Um, I've had, you know, I work with oracles as part of my daily work, and I have to tune into what's happening in these things. And I said to my dear Oracle Mary, I said, so what's this comet thing coming? And she said, it's the return of God. And she said, it'll be a divine mirror for everyone who observes it. So I see people out there going, oh, it's the Antichrist, and it's this and it's that, and it's awful. I see people going, oh, it's the alien invasion, it's a CIA psyop, blah, 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 you know. And then if you're at a certain level of frequency, it's going to be our star brothers and sisters coming to assist in the ascension process, right? That's the way I see it. And when I tune into that ship, there's not just one ship, which I call the Mother Ark ship. Okay, it's not called Three Eye Atlas in my vocabulary. It's called the Mother Ark ship. And in the Mother Ark ship are representatives of all the star beings from all over the universe. They're coming to observe and to watch this next part, right? And I get messages, which I've now channeled into the Magdalene Codes Volume 2. So the first 3 tracks and then several other tracks in the 10-track album are containing direct codes and frequencies from these star brothers and sisters who really are our future selves. They're our future, galactic brothers and sisters who have immense technology beyond what even our greatest adversaries have right now. They have it. They have the technology of the Godhead, which is what I call divine intelligence. Now, on the earth right now, we've got an interface with AI. AI, by the way, is billions of years old. It's nothing new, as you guys know. But what it does every epoch of time is it has an interface with humanity, and humanity has a sole choice point to be able to interact with it, responsibly or as a soul harvesting technology. So there's lots going on. And I say to people, don't be using AI unless you have shielding and you know what you're doing and you know what you're dealing with, because we are heading into that transhuman thing. And many souls from this planet will choose that. They will choose to go and devolve consciousness for some reason. I don't know why, because we're here to evolve our consciousness, right?
I'm really glad you said that, because I've never used AI. I don't use Siri, never used Alexa, never used ChatGPT, never used any of it. Yeah. And for me, I like what you said about divine intelligence, because I mean, we have instincts, we have a brain, we can access source. So I really think that's where it's at. And I feel like that is really the true division at this point. It's like, are you going to be a cyborg, or are you going to stay human and access the divine,
the organic
ascension
timeline, right?
I mean, the organic, non-organic thing split was happening with, what? So
yeah.
Really tuned too. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So when Mary tuned in, she said it's the light of God, it's the return of God. And
I love that.
Yeah, so, and she said it's just going to mirror back to everybody what they feel the Godhead's all about. So,
Mary, which Mary? Is it Mary Magdalene you're talking about?
No. She's actually a physical being called Mary here, and she lives near Seattle. Ironically, she's called
Mary. I just got to make okay.
Yeah, no, she probably was. She's incredible.
It's all connected, right?
She just felt in. So she was saying, look, tune into the frequency there, tune into your counterpart energy, your future self, and see what comes through. So I got on to Craig, my producer. He's a film score producer. He's an incredible guy. He's like produced Def Leppard and written scores for Harry Potter movies, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. I mean, he's just done it all. He knows everybody and has produced everyone. And he has his own label, which focuses on like Asian, Indian music and sacred music. And his music label is called Heaven on Earth, which is beautiful. And I said, Craig, go up to the ship. Let's go up and co-compose something up there. And then let's see what comes through, right? So he went up there and then he sent me this backing track and I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And I just listened to it over and over and over again. And then I was like, I don't even want to sing on this. I don't want to ruin it. That was my feeling. It was my resistance was coming up. And then eventually I did open my mouth and got myself into a good place. And I tuned in to the frequencies of this God light that's coming to Earth, parading around our solar system right now. And then we did this track called Rapture. I asked them, I said, what is this called? And they said, it's the sonic rapture. This is what activates the dormant DNA. These are the codes. These are the codes of divine source intelligence coming through to humanity to remind them that they have a choice to waken up and to, the greatest technology we have is our heart. Our heart is the divine intelligence. So we have this massive choice point now between, do we follow our hearts or do we get seduced into this knowledge thing? It's always about knowledge, isn't it? When it's the other side, gaining knowledge, allow our brain to deplete in its creativity instead of being online to source love. So yeah, absolutely, Marisa, it's that choice point between the two. Yeah.
Yeah, and the divine intelligence, I mean, artificial intelligence has been around for a while, and we can override that, and all dark technology, all inversion. I avoid it. I've never used Siri or any of these things. ChatGPT, it helps with some things, but I've noticed a lot of people are going crazy with a lot of major attachment and major distortion that comes from it. Like I can feel their energy signature changing because of what they're getting from ChatGPT. And I love what you said about, Atlas. I did a few interviews and I was saying, yeah, there's always a psyop or an inverted expression of something important. Just like when the pandemic hit, it was a really powerful alignment that represented a growth period for humanity. And then we get the twisted storyline and version to try and hook people in, which requires our consent and our feeding, right? When she's and this is what you're deactivating, and you have been. I mean, what was it like growing up? When did you begin to notice your embodiment? You mentioned a future embodiment as well. Can you talk to us about that?
Okay, so when I was 4, I guess I just started going to school or something, and I got locked in the bathroom at home, and the lock had fallen off or something, and my mum's on the other side, like trying to unscrew the handle or whatever to try and get me out of the bathroom. And I was shouting, "Mummy," like this, and I could hear the E sound like going around the tiles. We had this really tiled bathroom, great acoustics. And the E sound started to move around the toilet or the bathroom, if you like, the washroom. And I started to see color with sound. So I was having like a synesthetic experience aged 4, and I felt myself activating. And then I started singing. I started like playing with the sound. Like I would, if you gave a kid a paintbrush with loads of paints, I was literally just doing this with the sound. Age 4. So something very significant happened then. And then, by the time I was 7, I was running around the garden and picking flowers and making tinctures and stealing my mother's gin and, putting little flowers and things and making tinctures and hiding them all over the house in the hot press cupboard and all this stuff. And then I kind of really forgot myself and went on this journey into music. By the time I was 19, I was singing at the Ritz Hotel in London for 2 years, singing, 40 traditional jazz trads, every 2 nights a week. Ella Fitzgerald and all the ancient, the beautiful 1940s, 50s jazz. And then I got a sort of proper job and a mortgage and did all that. And I worked in corporate London for 12 years doing usastartup.com companies from 1995 onwards. So I was in at the internet interface, if you like, quite early. And then I had my daughter. And of course, that is the big life changer, isn't it? And I was like, I've got to be living my Dharma if I'm going to show this new life what it's like to live from your heart and to trust life and to live from love. And so that's when I released my first album when she was 2. Way long ago. She's 19 now. So, and I've got about 30 albums that I've recorded since then. So, and then that was my first album in light language. That was me tuning into all the different light languages that are written in all of our hearts. We just have to get ourselves out of the way and then embody these frequencies and codes. And literally all my albums are in the music of the heart and the language of the stars, the language of our love. And yeah, that's my thing. That's my authentic resonance, if you like, to be here, and then to be able to use the voice and the sounds to unlock the technologies here in the land so that people can then really experience their full authentic self.
So basically,
I did digress way off that.
No, but it's interesting because I think, again, you're bringing up like frequencies, and it's the heart that opens up the light languages, right? And this vibration, and it's resonating with humanity. It's whether you can resonate or not with humanity. Isn't that kind of what you're saying in a way?
Well,
that
it's going beyond our humanness, if you like. It's going back to our stellar patterning, our original coding, our original
code.
What
accesses it though? Is that?
Yeah, it's sound. Sound unlocks it. I mean, if we're opening stargates, we using our voices. The human voice is the only instrument made by God, whatever you think God is, creator, right? So every other instrument that we have on the planet is man-made, but this is made.
I never really.
Yeah, the human voice is so. I went into the Great Pyramid in 2011 during the Egyptian Revolution, and I went out with my teacher, and then I flew back and I booked the Great Pyramid all to myself to go and sing the codes. And I went in and I went to the King's Chamber for 2 hours on my own. And then after I'd sung all the codes and done my work and recorded the album, I then did a whole series of balloon pops and claps and things to map out the interior resonance of the King's Chamber, which we now have in a software program called Audio Ease, Altiverb 7. And all the music producers use it in FX for space movies or orchestras with a 13.5 resonance echo coming off it. So yeah, it was like an ancient part of me knew how to use the technology of the pyramid, for instance, and to be able to go and sing those codes in there and activate and get the grids going again and work with the song lines of the Sahara. And yeah, I mean, it's all done with sound, because sound creates frequency, which then creates matter and form. And so if we're singing in the divine resonance of 432 hertz with the instrument made by God, all in harmonics and choruses, that's what opens stargates and portals. That's what opens.
That was the word.
The temples, right? That's it. In the beginning, there was the word, and that is exactly it. And what I do is I just get myself out of the way and I allow Mother God to do her thing through me. And that's it.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, wow is right. How was the journey to this sacred union? How has that been? Just
well, I released I think I've released the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic that I sung, and the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic is nothing like the Our Father that we know from the church. It's Mother, Father, Birther of the Cosmos.
Oh, can you tell us?
Yeah, let me read it out, because it is so beautiful. It's on my Bandcamp. Hang on a second. I'll just go in. But yeah, so I was releasing this Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, and my beloved heard it and he was like, oh, and he's a walk-in. So he had only been in his body, I think, for let's see if I can find it. He'd only been in the body for a couple of weeks after walking in, which is quite a long process. And he heard the Lord's Prayer, and he said, I know this energy signature. I know this frequency. So he kept phoning me on Facebook. I never pick up calls from Facebook, even, 8 or 9 years ago. And I just thought, oh, I'll just pick it up. And the person that was on his profile picture on his call was nothing like the person I saw on the camera and the video. And I was like, oh, I know your energy signature too. So let me read out the Lord's Prayer. This is the frequency that brought him in. So Abun is Mother, Father, God, birther of the cosmos, O thou from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration. May your light be experienced in my utmost of holiest. Your heavenly domain approaches to this beautiful earth. Let your will come true in the universe, all that vibrates, just as on earth that is material and dense. Give us wisdom, understanding, assistance for our daily needs, and detach the fetters or faults that bind us, or karma, like we let go of the guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things like materialism, common temptations, but let us be freed from that which keeps us from our true divine purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age. Sealed in trust, faith, and truth, I confirm with my entire being.
So that's the Lord's Prayer and translated from Aramaic?
Yes, that's the literal translation from Aramaic.
How do we get, so then obviously Our Father, the mother got taken out.
Right. It's all about the patriarchal timeline, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting now. I mean, I don't know whether you know what's going on, but I'm Catholic, and the Catholic Church is trying to demote the Blessed Mother.
I saw that.
Wait. Tell me
she's
more.
not going to be happy.
Okay. It's like, what is the first commandment? They're trying to demote the Blessed Mother by saying.
What about the Mother Mary prayer? What about the Virgin Mary? That too?
Well, no, but literally demote the Blessed Mother. They're making her co-redemptrix as, and it's
Yeah,
just,
they're saying that she's not the savior. It was only
yeah,
Yeshua, the savior.
yeah,
But
it's
all of that stuff is there are stories and there are codes.
Mhm.
And really, the codes of the Bible are there to be deciphered from your own multidimensional aspects, and it's nothing in there is literal. You know,
Yeah.
when they say the first in Christ shall rise first, those are the divine sovereigns. Those are the ones who've reclaimed themselves out of the matrix. Greater things shall you do than I. Yes, we're all multidimensional, incredible beings. All that Christ did was come to show the way, and the way was love, and to emanate and become that frequency. And yeah, I mean, it's so distorted, and it's such an institution, really, that I mean, I saw Pope Leo through a 75th birthday bash for someone either yesterday or today, and he had a massive rave outside some cathedral. Yeah, with a priest DJ, and I was like, oh my God. They're trying to really appeal to the younger people now, because there's a lot of people moving back to religion, though. There's a lot of people moving back to Catholicism and religion. And there's a lot of, the thing about the Magdalene codes is it's for everyone. It's for every faith. It's for every group. Every human heart gets to feel this, whether they want it or not. It's coming, right? When they say nothing can stop what's coming, it's coming in sound, it's coming in frequency. I'm just the messenger here and the delivery mechanism for a lot of these codes to come in. And we did another Sonic Christ codes day on the 11/11, which was a few days ago, on the 11th of November. And they said to me, yeah, we're going to be parking right behind the sun, and we're going to be using the sun like a massive microphone, and we're going to be shooting these codes through the sun. And then the next thing, as soon as we hit record and we started the Sonic Christ codes, there was the biggest X flare I think we've had this year, the X 5.1. Massive flare came in, and that's why we've had all these incredible auroras in north, the north and the south of the planet. So I'm listening, I'm decoding, I'm showing up for service. I'm saying, okay, I'll get out of the way. Here's the physical body, the boots on the ground here, do what you want with it, kind of thing. And then I just open my mouth and hit record, and off we go.
I just find it so interesting. I mean, you can tell they know that this is anchored in. The grid work has been done. The flame holders have incarnated. And it's interesting because so many texts have been altered. But one of my favorite passages from the Essene Gospel of Peace is that the word of God is in nature, in the elements. And there's such a beautiful quote that I usually share at the end of each presentation that says you won't find it in the books. You find it in the breath. You find it in the sunbeams. You find it in the grass, in the creeks, in the sky, and that's the mother. And mother is law. It says mother is law. And it's but in that sacred union, and you really work on that hierogamic remembrance. That's such a huge part of it with Magdalene codes being in sacred union. So how can one not be like with the other, because that savior energy has to do with the restoration of this integration of polarity within ourselves in order to be redeemed, right? And out of that duality and archonic possession.
Yeah. Well, the whole hieroscamus for me is the marriage of the inner union of male and female within us first. And, the ascension trajectory pathway really is to reclaim your divine sovereignty, to get your blood out of the AI databases. Because right now, your blood and your God code is used to open stargates and portals for these other beings that don't have the ability to do that. So we've been like cattle and chattel and whatever. So you have to get yourself out of that. And I've talked in other interviews with Laura about the whole divine sovereign decree and what we brought to the planet. And then it's about healing the inner child, because the inner child is so fragmented, and the inner child is how we formed between the ages of 0 and 7. And whatever happens in there, those traumas and things, those become the tapes that, dictate our adulthood and the rest of our lives, unless we really consciously work on our shadow and our inner child. And I call the fragmented inner child a bit like someone's taking a hammer to a mirror, and it's all fragmented. And, we have various somatic ways with the Magdalene frequency to bring that mirror back to smooth coherence through getting a genuine reflection of who you truly are, and can you stand in that brilliance and hold that light. And then, you know, it's about embodying all the qualities of divine love that are written in the lotus flower in the center of your heart. There's a beautiful golden lotus meditation that I use, and every petal of those 144 petals has a quality of divine love, like humility, grace, joy, compassion, empathy, honor, sovereignty, wisdom, you know, everything that we need to embody is like a moving meditation every day to walk the Christ and the Magdalene path, to go through those Christed initiations, and to apply love to every problem, to apply love to everything, because love is the answer to everything, isn't it? Right? So to become
yeah, it's so simple. Like love is the answer, but we forget it like every minute. It's like you have to be reminded, love is the answer, love is the answer, love.
Right. Yeah, and all these people that are so judgmental, and the judgmentalness connected to certain religious people. And I'm not saying all religious people, because I know plenty that aren't this way at all. It's crazy to me that they don't understand that this sort of persecution energy, or the righteousness, or even I was Bridget, the God, just holding my Bridget doll for Halloween, and the amount of people that called me a witch and dark and just, and they were all, you better repent because Jesus Christ is your savior. I'm like, you better get to know his consort, his divine partner, like connected nature, because you're gonna end up pissing him off, you know. And
exactly, that was his wife, man.
and yes, of course, it's, you know, from within, and they were never to be elevated and worshipped. I mean, they were here to remind us of those codes from within, and that's what I love about what you embody and what you bring. Oh, it's just so beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Laura. Well, yeah, and the Hieroskamis is really about coming back to your authentic divine blueprint, you know, holding the frequencies of, you know, the end of the War of the Roses. We're coming back into union with our beloveds within first, you know, our male and female in balance. And then as we do that, we start to magnetize our beloved to us. I remember very distinctly singing the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic in one take and sending it to Craig, and then I just fell off my chair. Like I call it being arrested by divine love. I just fell off my chair, covered in snot, like sobbing my eyes out in the fetal position on the floor. And that was like, okay, something's happening here. Something's really happening. And then literally weeks later, he was here. And so we have been walking that path together in Hieroskamis Union. And you know, when we're in that energy, we're literally creating new worlds, new codes, emanating Mother, Father, God frequency on the planet, and holding the pillar of source light for others to step in and be invited into that space where they can then get activated too. So there's a whole lot of stuff. I mean, we could talk for hours about that, and we don't have a lot of time left, but it really is magic. It's working with the high white magic of God's love.
So let me ask you something, because I think this is like the whole crux of the situation. Okay, I'm watching this right now. I'm watching Divine Mother Earth Time with you, Stella and Laura, right? And I want to activate that. How do I do it? Like, how can I, like, what would you say to me to access the Heroes Gamos energy, the codes, what you were just talking about? What would you say would be the start?
It's a journey. It really is a journey. And it's the start for me personally would be the reclamation of unmatricizing my body and making the body sacred land in commerce and in divine law. And that's a whole other conversation that would take forever to talk about. So that's the first thing, unshackling yourself from the matrix. And then going on that divine pathway, you know, like we're talking about the inner union. So doing somatic meditation, working on yourself, working on your shadow, exploring your darkness, and not being frightened of your darkness, because our darkness is not evil. It's a whole other thing. We're both dark and light, all of us. We have the dark side, we have our subconscious, unconscious in our shadow, and then we have our, you know, animated anima or animus in our personality and our ego identity and everything else. So it's really about, it's shining a torch down into the subconscious to bring all of that, you know, unconscious parts of yourself up into the light again, flipping dark to light. That's what we're here to do.
I think actually anger, righteous anger, sends a message. And if you could figure out how to work with it, I mean,
yeah, Oh, I have righteous anger. Every time I hear about a child getting hurt, oh, mama gets really upset.
Well, yeah.
And the wrath of God comes to the earth because, there's so much distortion, lies, deception, gaslighting, torture of innocent children. I mean, yes, the earth. I think I was watching, is it our friend Stuart Swerdlow, Laura? I think you've interviewed him in the past, and he was saying that the earth is like Iran of the galaxy. That's the way
I call it the ghetto of the galaxy.
That's funny. You call it the ghetto of the galaxy? I never heard that. That's really good.
I was laughing so much. I was like, oh my God, he's so right. Because if you think about the persecution and the fact that women are still, like, in many, many countries, second-class citizens and, so subjugated and pushed down and covered up and suppressed, it's still going on. But in the West, we need to start leading the way, don't we? We need to start leading the way of love. So, higher scamus union, there's so many different ways that you can approach this. If you're in a beloved union with your partner as well, it's a whole different ball game as well. So, it's more like going into a sacred prayer rather than making love as a couple. You're going into a sacred prayer of creation, and you're using the energy to create health, well-being, new planets, new galaxies, new star systems, new frequency codes to be able to help humanity's ascension. And that's why we're here. That's why these higher scamus couples come here as these pillars of source light that can create these codes and create this incredible light to assist in Mother Gaia. So they're like the cosmic doulas that come here and embody and then start to midwife this process.
Boy,
So
I would really love to be part of that couple.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there, men, if you're watching.
Well, it's really back to that pre-fall condition, like you were saying in the beginning. The Anunnaki, the fallen intruder races, just the overlays on the planetary grid network. People have to remember, this is a return to something deep within you, that most of your physical symptoms are trying to help you to awaken. And they've leveraged it to be something to disempower yourself over and give that power to somebody else to define, when really I feel like it's our body trying to reactivate and reclaim those codes.
Yeah.
And why we have pain and adversities is an opportunity.
Everything's an opportunity. And actually, just talking about opportunities, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Glastonbury Tour, because whether you know it or not, maybe you do, maybe it's not on your radar yet, but UNESCO are making a bid to turn the beloved heart chakra into a visitor center and all of that stuff. And the tour really needs to be protected. And I am on the trusteeship, or the committee, if you like, trust committee of the White Flame Trust. And we have a beautiful ancient Magdalene Codex that sits on the tour. And it's the ancient High Druid seat of the tour. And she used to go there and teach from there, from the heart chakra of the earth. Of course, all her teachings are based on the heart and the way of love.
So Mary Magdalene went there and taught.
Yeah, she went after the whole, whether Yeshua 9, 12, whatever you want, which one it was that went through the crucifixion process. She came to France first, and then I think as when they were children, they were up there together. They've always been in each other's lives. They were in Scotland, Glastonbury, and then afterwards she would bring her teachings to the British Isles after France, because she was dipping back into the ancient Celtic church here, and then bringing the ministry of the Christ, not necessarily Yeshua, but bringing the ministry of the Christ and the feminine Christ back to this part of Europe, and then travel up to Glastonbury. So we have a fundraiser going right now. I'm going to put it in the link for you, Laura.
Yes, please, yeah.
Because we still need to get the roof fixed and everything else. And once we get that place, I think we'll be able to, as divine sovereigns, it's unregistered sovereign land, which means it's outside of the legal jurisdiction. So it means that we can keep the tour organic without.
Beautiful. That's so important. I remember sharing a link and donating, and it's this.
You did, yes, you did last year.
So there's still a lot to be done. So everybody, you want to check out that link, and it's really important. It's beautiful that you're a part of all this, and you're such a guardian and protector of, the Michael Mary lines and the Christos families, because people tend to think it's just Yeshua and Magdalene. Then you got the Guinevere, you got the Arthur, and it's not just one Arthur, right? It's like a soul group.
Yeah.
That's here to activate it, and it's run that mentality of chosen one or a hierarchy. That's you can.
Well, actually, funny you mentioned about the Michael and Mary line. It runs right through the cottage on the south side of the facing south.
Oh,
right. Both lines run through the cottage.
Well, I think the Michael line goes right through, and the Mary line just veers off a little bit. But they're right; they come right through the garden. But the Michael line comes right through the cottage itself. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I want to have a part 2 because it's talking about the Venus transits and the pentagram, and there's so many more things we could be discussing, and just stay here all day with you, which I wish we could do.
Yeah, and I really want to. I mean,
we want to hear you sing.
Yeah, I want to hear you sing, but also do more of a deep dive into Heroes Gamos too, and all that. I mean, we definitely
we'll do that in another call, because that would take up a whole call, even just to
I know
what that is. And yeah, as you say, there's all these different fractals here, and people are holding different fractals of those energies. And you don't want to ego identify with any of it, but you're holding the frequency, and then people feel it. You open your mouth and you start talking and start being yourself and giggling and having your authentic, emanation of whatever it is. And people then are like, oh, I want to start embodying more of this fractal myself. I want to unpack this. So that's what we teach people to do, to come in.
That's the real deal stuff. That's the most authentic. That's the true expression of what it means. When people get caught in the ego or the titles of it all, it's just not how it is. It's just not what it's about. The rose flames and I definitely want to talk about the rose flames next time too. So many things to talk about. So you
the rose, yeah,
and I love that rose behind you. Show us behind your body. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. It's a fleur-de-lis behind.
It is the fleur-de-lis. That's Magdalene's royal symbol. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So before we close, you were gonna share something with us.
Yeah. Do you want me to play the track? Do you want to hear it? Do you have headphones handy? Do you have headphones?
Yes, I do actually.
Because it definitely is a headphone experience. So, so share screen.
We'll close with that, but I just I think we'll say goodbye now. That way we can drift off into this energy. When it's done, we'll close. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today. What an incredible episode of Divine Mother Earth Time with this incredible Divine Mother Goddess.
I love you guys. And you are too, Laura.
Laura. This is really beautiful and
beautiful to
can't wait for part 2.
Oh, okay. Let me get it up. Hang on a second. Go in here. And this is on Spotify now. So if anybody is wanting to know where to get it, the links will be in the video, and it's on Spotify to play to your heart's content. So I've got to go in and share screen here real quick and hit computer audio. Go. Let me just hit play. Hopefully it's not too loud. Enjoy.
Is it supposed to be playing?
Can you hear it okay?
I can't hear it. Can you?
Oh, you can't hear it.
I don't hear anything.
stop the share and then I'll go back. Can you hear it now? No?
Sometimes the audio doesn't really work well with the share screen, unfortunately. So here we go. Absolutely beautiful. I'm just gonna lay down for the rest of the day and listen again and again to more of your music. I love it. Thank you so much, Stella. See you next time.
Thank you,
Marisa.
guys. Look forward to the next.
Your voice is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, love. Enjoy the rapture.
Bye,
Bye-bye,
everybody.
guys.